finally getting into the food. I mean, I could almost get that feeling that people were like, you know, that's great. You talked for the first one. You told us where we could buy pre-made food, and then we had juice. So now we're getting the food. The next one's going to get into the real food, the hot foods, some of the like healthier meal combinations that really kind of satisfy the salty, hot side, you know, that more dinner type item. So this is the standard meal in superfoods. And really this is, along with juicing, when, you know, people ask me, what is it that you do for your diet, or what did I change about my diet? This is one of the main things that comes to mind. That, along with juicing, but really this, because it combines everything. And I think of it as my dog food, because I eat it literally every single day, and I love it every single time. You know, it's like we put a bowl of food in front of a black lab, and they just devour it like it's, you know, the most celestial thing ever. So, like today, I had a super busy day. I just ate that twice. Didn't drink enough water, but I know that I got pretty much everything I needed because there was a little bit of all of this in there. So this is my standard meal, and it's usually composed of a whole grain cereal. I like ideally these like blends that tend to have, you know, pretty much everything but wheat, or, you know, a minimal amount of wheat. And sometimes for a sweet tooth, like the pumpkin raisin flax crunch, you know, it's like you know, it's marketed to be healthy, but you can look at the nutrition label and see the difference in sugars and whatnot. But like that's like the naughty cereal. Okay. The whole, not really a whole grain sorghum, is pretty much looks like a giant corn plant with no corn on it, and they make it's really produced a lot to make molasses. This is a really exciting product that I found. Sugar gliders also like it a lot. I put it in their food, and it fits right in their hands. But for us, it's got lots of protein, lots of fiber, and and then the fruit. Like the fruit again, as we talked about. Like now we're looking at our whole foods. I brought my favorite fruits out, and the goji berries here I put in the fruit section. We'll talk about what we did with that. Sun Warrior protein. This is like Sun Warrior protein for me. If I raise humans for livestock, they would eat Sun Warrior protein. This is the best stuff, and I just brought those because I'm, you know, from California, and we recycle, and I can't throw away plastic containers, and I always was thinking I was going to put something in them, so I realized that this was a great opportunity to empty my drawer. But I eat one of these a week, and I was just keeping them, and I guess I'll finally throw them away today. Unless you guys want to take, yeah, I know. I knew someone was going to be thinking like, oh, it's like Oprah, and we all get a it's not. No. Yeah.
You posted something today. Somebody.
Yes, until the 16th. It's $33 and something cents.
What is it?
I was gonna add it into a slide, but I literally didn't have time today. At the Vitamin Shop on Uri, across from Sam's, and it's spelled Shoppy, I think. Vitamin Shoppy. But yeah, it's the Vitamin Shop. Yeah, but I drilled the lady. I'm like, you are going to sell out, because if you don't sell out, then I'm going to come by. And I think they got another truck in tomorrow, and I told them they really better order some, because I had her go do a count right then. I mean, I think when I used to initially buy from the website, it was like $44 or something plus shipping. So $33 something is, I would go buy a couple. This is probably what's going to happen when I'm with the Cocoa Hydra, then I won't be able to buy it for a week, but that'll be okay. No, that won't be okay. But I have one.
What would you eat?
I don't know. Yeah. So the honey is the superfood. We'll talk about that protein bar. The superfoods, just once we touch on. Now, and of course, a lot of the stuff, especially with the superfoods, is anecdotal data, and what I attached at the back was something from a company that'll show that I used to make these supplements. And it was brought to my attention, about citations. Well, a lot of that was done that was actually, that was taken from some of the marketing that I did. But these are the presumed kind of benefits of these certain foods. And again, many of them have stood the test of time. Like the Aztecs and the Mayans, they cultivated and ate spirulina. They understood that it had its nutritional value. Considered a complete protein. It's got, because of the variation of amino acids, and it's just packed with phytonutrients. The maca, again, the Incas used it, and then further from there, it was used for fertility in livestock, and even now in male enhancement products. A lot of that real expensive stuff is just this. Goji berries for thousands of years in Chinese medicine. That's going back that's more than 3,000 years. They've been talking about goji berries and specifically longevity. The bee pollen, real big with Olympic athletes. When you look at the components of bee pollen, it's almost like the most nutritionally complete source of food that you can get. So again, covering all your bases is the way I think of it. Cacao, the Aztecs were really fond of that too, and it's really packed with antioxidants and vitamins, but it's also, they believed it was really good for the cardiovascular system, basically, and their blood flow. So they made these ideas and connections over time. A fad is like when everyone started gobbling up promethylcolonate because they thought it did something and 2 years later they can't sell the stuff. So don't really think they're fads. But let's move through this so we can start eating. The standard meal philosophy, I think of it as my doctor because I always have it on hand. Like today, we're short-handed at work, but I had all the stuff. All I had to do was add water because I had my cereal, my Sun Warrior, and I had some blueberries in the fridge. And I keep a little bag of superfoods. Let me see if I could actually, I probably don't have it with me right now, but I usually have a little Ziploc bag where I just have all those mixed in. And so it contains all the nutrients that I really need. And that's the idea of this meal. It's not getting tired of it is, again, like I love it every time I have it. When I get hungry, it's what I crave. And besides, eating it that many times a day, I don't seem to get tired because you can vary the fruit, and it's just really good. Again, nutritional completeness. I know that depending on the busy day, and especially for time frames, I know that this combination that I found works for me, but it has all these components that I really think can work for everyone. And I know I've heard people that have tried it, you just don't get hungry. You are actually satisfied, And 4 or 5 hours later, I'll know it's okay now, I'm starting to get hungry. And I'm sorry it's a little bit warm in here. I think they shut off the air conditioning for the winter time, like in this room or something. But I play with it. And basically, I like it better than a smoothie because it's really high fiber between really the cereal I really like for the fiber and the fruit, slowing it down as it's going through your digestive system. Like I used to add spirulina and some things to some of my juices, and I'm like, well, how fast is that going through me? The fiber slows down the speed at which it moves through you. So the idea I have is that it gives me more time to extract that nutrition. Let's see, versatility. Again, I like how you can mix the different ingredients based on how you feel. Like sometimes I just feel like I need more spirulina. I don't know why. The honey, I'm really huge on honey, and especially during the school year, I wake up, I got like my clothes out, my juice made. Like I'm one of those people. I wake up, brush my teeth, out the door, and it's like I like the honey because I can control. It gives me that instant initial sugar that I need in the morning, And then you get, you have your fructose and you have the slow breakdown of the starches. And so you have this like continual release of energy. That's what I found. Whereas if I'm gonna go ride for 4 hours, I just pile on the honey. So it's like the honey is like my calorie moderator. The past week I haven't been training a lot due to overtraining, so it's like I've really not touched the honey. But honey is packed with calories, but really great for energy. But it also is really what makes it really very tasty. I'll honestly kind of have this for a dessert as well. It's very satisfying and satiating is huge for getting your diet stable. And we can talk about, like going back to what we talked about, blood sugar levels. I found that whether or not, I really like it with the honey, but even when I go without the honey, it's a really low glycemic index food I find if I just do like the sorghum cereal and the protein powder, which is all I had for my second one today. It was kind of a bummer, but it was still good. And again, I don't even think about eating for 4 or 5 hours. This can really help control, your weight and everything else, like we talked about, with the glycemic index, blood sugar levels, and your hunger control. It's convenient because it's all shelf-stable. Except for the fruit and like the soy milk products, which we have a progression of, like the sweetest, most vanilla to just like vanilla to the unsweetened to the original. I just have it with water now, but we also have these other, like this is a very low calorie coconut milk my mom likes. But yeah, so there's different ways to control your calories, but otherwise, all of that stuff is all shelf stable. And honey, totally shelf stable. Honey won't go bad. You have to try to make it go bad, or you have to ferment it. And the great thing about soy milk is that it's got more calcium than milk. You're getting 6 grams of protein per serving, and it's not coming from a cow. And again, the transportable aspect of these ingredients is what I really like. Everything goes into a Ziploc bag. Sometimes I'll mix the cereal, some superfoods, and then I'll have another Ziploc bag with the fruit in it. I'll throw it in my bag and I just have it at work. It's ready to go. And that goes back to planning, but then when you get hit with that real hunger because you have to stay somewhere an extra 2 hours, your options aren't Taco Bell or not. Temperature tolerant. Really, soy milk, it doesn't go bad like milk does. You do have to keep it in the fridge, but I've actually graduated to where I just have it with water because this thickens up wonderfully into it just kind of makes it like kind of thick, almost like a smoothie. So the superfoods, you guys can read through the list of superfood and kind of, even though those are kind of our marketing points, they were pretty much honest and based on findings a lot from like David Wolf, who's a big superfood guy. And the superfood is a new term, and it's a generic term for basically these very nutritionally dense foods that can almost be considered to have medicinal value. And a lot of them are traditional ingredients for some of these really ancient civilizations like the Aztecs and the Chinese civilizations. And the adaptogen is basically the idea of like any of these ingredients that is kind of a new coined term for any ingredient that really kind of optimizes certain functions of your body. Like the maca is what, and when you do your own research and look up maca and what they have to say about it, or if you buy David Wolf's book, the idea is they really think somehow from the sterile content and for other reasons that help support your endocrine system. That's why a lot of athletes are using maca because it kind of has it, not as a steroid alternative, but because it really helps support their hormone balance, basically. And it's become very popular with menopausal women as well. Superfood ingredients, serving suggestions. We're gonna kind of go through that as we go. And again, sources, David Wolf is like, David Wolf is so cool. He's kind of freaky. He's a guy with a couple kids in the family, and they live out in Escondido, California, actually, which I never knew. He was just out east of us. You can get YouTube videos of him where he'll talk for hours about mafia, whatever. Then again, that last thing in the back was from Performance Superfoods, the little company I had on top of 2 jobs and going back to school and training, which equaled short-lived because, and it also really hurt my wrist to make those little things. There's David Wolf. It's kind of crazy looking. He cut his hair and started marketing the Bullet. But that is a great book. I've passed it around. I read it 3 times, and then I just passed it around from person to person, and now I can't remember who has it. So, but really worth getting. That was Performance Superfoods. These were what we made, which Teresa was asking about, which I'm looking at making again. So they're really great because you buy those little baggies from Michael's and stick them in your bike pocket. You leave them in the glove box of your car at 100-degree heat. They don't go bad because, I mean, they're made out of honey, dry goods, and cereal and superfoods. And that was just what that was. Sun Warrior Protein. Again, I could go on for hours. The nutritional information's on it, and we want to get, I do want to keep this brief, so I'm not going to go on and on about it, but it's really digestible. I used to be really big. I ate a lot of meat and I ate a lot of whey protein in the past. And you can only eat so much whey protein with the bloating and everything. Again, if you're switching from a Western diet and maybe you're eating a lot of whey protein, you might experience like maybe some gas or something from just a completely different base of this protein. But it's really hemp-based protein, hemp and green pea. It's got all your essential amino acids and all 20 of your amino acids. So it's got all the ones, the essential amino acids are the ones that your body cannot make, that you must get from your food. And so it's really like, I mean, I can eat 4, 5, 6 scoops of this a day, and I don't feel like that bloating and that heaviness you get when your body's trying to deal with 3 scoops of, whey protein, like Muscle Max, whatever.
Yes, yeah. If you, just a suggestion, if you want to make it, because it gets kind of lumpy if you drop it, then you just try But you can do it with a blender and make a nice smoothie, because that really blends in with milk or whatever you're blending in. You can throw the fruit in.
Yeah,
And it really comes out nice and smoothie.
Yeah, I mean, you can do anything with it. Again, you can just make smoothies with it. A lot of people like the smoothies. I know Joe likes smoothies. And this, again, you throw it in with some fruit. You can just get it with some water. Like once you get to feeling how good you feel when you have like literally all this goes to my body every day, except the soy stuff now. I just do water. But I mean, it's really awesome, and it moves through you. The high fiber, lower glycemic index, of course, except for when I go on like a honey kick. But this stuff is awesome. Hemp protein is comprised of a globular protein called edestin, which actually comes from the Greek word for edible. That's from David Wolf's Superfoods book. I don't know if I quoted it, so just in case I did, that's where it came from. But that's and he goes on and on about that. And it's actually a very, very good source of protein for humans. This and juicing make up my diet. It's, where are the PowerPoints? Any more PowerPoints? I'll get you an extra set of PowerPoints. They were actually really short.
Choose all that. Horatio, will you get me that? Did you give me this already? Will you give me the stack? Maybe
No.
Okay.
No. It's but basically, Yeah, those are the shortest of the talk points. The conclusion, this is like when people ask me what it is that I eat, the first things that pop into mind, this and juicing. Again, I kind of did it backwards there with the slides, but that's okay. So, basically, the other thing is prices. When you're looking at, and then I'm gonna like just turn everyone loose. I started with, so you have like the richest and kind of sweetest milk here. You have a bunch of bowls and spoons and fruit. When you're buying any of this stuff, like watch prices. Again, this is $33 and something right now at the Vitamin Shop on Erie Drive until the 16th. So I would really go get some. When you're looking at these other ingredients like spirulina, when you read that David Wolf book, like when I read it, I just freaked out and I'm like, I have to have all this stuff right away when you talk about, how good it was and this and that. Some of the stuff, I honestly don't do the cacao, just because of budget. I have to choose certain ingredients. Goji berries were my favorite, but I don't do them either because they're just, I can only pick so many things. But my things that I definitely stick with are the spirulina, the maca, and the bee pollen every day. Bee pollen really big, and you can look at the different Russian, I forget what Russian Olympic team, but they're like, and then there's some Finnish Olympic coach that like made all their athletes. You can read up on bee pollen. Once you get interested in this stuff, you'll be like, wow. But yeah, bee pollen, again, bee pollen is like what the bees use for their nutrition, and the honey is what they use for their energy. Honey is really, really great when it's raw honey. Okay, Hummer and Son is not raw honey, not to offend anyone that's associated with Hummer and Son in any way. Westdale Honey Farms comes down, she gets her honey off of various properties down off the Highway 1, and this is raw, local honey. Not only that, it's the cheapest honey I've found. So to get raw honey, a lot of times you're paying more, because what happens when they have to mix honey from Brazil and Mexico and like all these different places, the honey will not mix if it's not heated. It'll be this product that they can't put on a shelf. Someone like me, I wouldn't care. I'd rather have really crazy looking raw honey. But since they can't get it to blend without heating it, you're basically buying syrup, because you're killing all the good properties of honey that where it's antibacterial. That's why it's really good for your sore throat, but that's why you shouldn't put it in boiling hot tea. And also whole honey like this has bee pollen in it. Now, because she even said like she didn't like to do that to the bees, because I guess they have to put something on the hives so that it scrapes the pollen off the bees' legs or something. But the bee pollen is like super packed. Again, I suggest just really doing more research into those, because my goal is to stay on a schedule where I can introduce you to these. And then Sarah, like that's what I talked about, and Teresa, that's what I talked about. Instead of trying to do more seminars, I'd rather stick with this group and add recipes, like add a couple recipes a week, find out what's working for people, and actually work personally with people, like when they have questions and stuff, because, I mean, we could obviously go on for hours and hours about this. So, again, I'm going to go and basically set out, we're just going to do this like a buffet, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up, we can do this however you guys want to do it. You can try your own. I can mix up I'll make a basic bowl of how I do it for myself. Like kind of the way I did it with the soy milk. And then I'll make a small bowl of how I do it for myself now, and I'll show you really quick, and no one's going to want to eat that.
You can write the ingredients on the board.
Yeah. Like,
If someone wanted to do the same thing.
Yeah. Or, well, I'm gonna see, that was kind of like what I was thinking was you guys can kind of pick your ingredients and see what you liked.
Do you want me to open the notes?
No, I'll go ahead and do that. So basically this, so you got a couple different cereals. This is the cereal that I like. And what I'll do is I'm going to be able to grab a blueberry with, that looks good. Yeah, the fruit, I mean, I really love the fruit. Basically, I usually go like one part cereal, one part fruit, honestly. Sometimes I'll go almost like 60% fruit. And I don't want to use up all stuff. And literally how I have it set up at my house is I have all my bags of stuff on the counter in the Sun Warrior. So I just kind of go down the line. There's a scoop in here somewhere. And I find for most of my portions, and this is what, like this is a lot more than I would eat. I might eat that after like a huge workout or something. But I try and get about 1.5 scoops. And so you're getting your, you can look at the nutrition labels. You're getting your protein from here, here, and here. By the time you're done, you're literally getting, I mean, I think I always average about 28 grams of protein per bowl of my superfood cereal mix. The maca's got kind of like an earthy taste to it. It's really not, a lot of people, I find they learn to like that quicker than other things. The bee pollen, people don't like so much as that, as far as, that's much more of an acquired taste. The spirulina, I actually like now, which is weird. Because it's the most awful tasting thing you'll probably ever have. At first, like people just say they can't eat spirulina. But, oh, and the goji berries, again, my favorite. I'm so used to not having them, it's like not even an option. What I do is I hydrate them, because in this form, they're really, really chewy and really, really hard. And they're just, you would really, really have to take time on each goji berry and chew it up to really digest it, you know? Otherwise, it's gonna kind of go through you. But, adding the milk, and it'll kind of thicken up. And so again, this is like, at first it might seem kind of like an odd idea, but you're really like, if I had to pick one meal, literally like, this is all you get to eat for the rest of your life. I mean, I really like salad, but if you guaranteed me like blueberries, strawberries, bananas, like basically all this food, I would be completely 100% perfectly happy eating this for the rest of my life. Like I've eaten this twice a day. Again, I haven't gotten my swim or my run in yet, but I'm going to after this. And I'm like still like completely confident that my body has everything to, you know, be in like maximal health, maximal recovery, whether I'm recovering from a cold or I'm recovering from a hard workout. Everything you need is in here. And the bee pollen was my favorite for one of those things. Like I think David Wolf said something about bee pollen, like having packed. I think it has everything your body needs to survive. And it's just, but again, that's not vegan. But I'm just like ketchup, bee pollen's in that category. I'm not giving up honey. I can't do it. Ketchup and honey, they're staying. But anyway, I'm gonna put out that bowl like that. And I'm gonna mix up a small bowl, and after this, it's all you guys. A small bowl of, say, what I eat now. I find the bananas, I like the bananas because they tend to be really sweet. The cacao nibs, if I actually have a choice, I like the powdered cacao. Again, like cocoa powder would be really, really great for you, except for the fact that it's the Dutch processed cocoa powder.